Here for the electric charges and the fields of the particles, we have taken the classes. First of all, the introduction. 600 BC. It is like that for Greek words. What is electricity? Says it. That is electricals. There is a deducted from the Greek words. This is the first paragraph we have felt from that. It is a phenomenon for explaining for the electric charges. There are three modes of the event to charges of the electrons. We have discussed about the first one is a friction, next one is a conduction, and third one is induction. What is the friction means? It's rubbing of the any other materials. It's called for the friction. Next conduction, you can touch with, that means the electricity of the charges conducting from one place to the another places. And third one is induction without touching of the events. We have discussed of the three topics. I'll be explained from that. Here for the silk thread. And next one is a conduction of the glass rod. First we can take the glass rod. It's have the positive charges, and silk thread. Silk thread, whatever they may be, the silk thread is wrapped through the rod. What will be happen? The rod having the positive charges, this positive charges as transferred, that is the friction moment of the transfer to the negative charges into the silk. So what will be happen? Here for the positive charges and negative charges goes to another level. And next point of view, I can take it for the plastic rod. The plastic rod can be wrapped into the silk thread, but whatever the maybe the condition is, the plastic rod having negative charge, then the positive charges goes into the silk thread. This is it. We knew from that. Unlike of the charges to attract each other, like charges repel to each other. These patterns we have discussed from the observed that if two class of the rods, we have taken two class. One is for the rub down the silk, and another one is we have to rub that for the plastics. We have known of the rubbing would attract the light object like straw, pitch balls, and other the bits of these papers. And what we observed, if two glass of the rods is rubbed with the wool or silk cloth, so we are brought to the close to each other. They repel to each other. Why they repel to each other? There is the rod having the positive charges, and the rubbed materials having the positive charges means they have to repel to each other. So the negative charges means to attract to each other. And second thing is plastic charges. Whatever the may be that, this is a seemingly simple fact where established from years of the efforts. Scientists by the different scientists have explained from that. What's concluded that after the many of the scientists careful studies by the different of the scientists, that were only the two kinds of the charges and entry which is called the electric charges. We say that board is like a connectors. Like here we have using for the glass or the plastic rods, silk or for any other pitch balls are electrified. How way we have tell them to electrified means if any other the glass rod having the positive charges means that one is when electrified. This is the word of the meaning. The aqua means we having the electric charges on the rubbing. We find the property with the differentiate with the two kinds of the charges is called the polarity of the charges. When the glass rod is rubbed with the silk, the rod is aqueous one kind of the charges, and the silk acquired the second kind of the charges. This is true of any pair of the objects that are rubbed to be electrified. Electrified means if rubbing means some other charges is having. It's a I can tell that it's a positive charges is a transfer to the negative charges. It is electrified. So with it's rubbed. So there is no longer to attract each other. They do not attract or repel other light objects as they did not and being electrified. Thus, the electric charge is acquired after rubbing or lost. And now I have removed from the rubbing. When the charged of the bodies of the particles are brought into the contact. When you can conclude from this of the observation, it just tells us unlike of the charges are acquired by the object, means it is nullified to each other. For example, if you can rub means it is a positive charges and goes to for the negative charges of the silk. When you have to some another rod having for same like that for that positive negative the plastic means negative charges to repel to each other, because means any the negative charge means repel to each other. The glass rod having I can take from that silk of the negative of the charges and silk of the positive of the charges, because one way is rubbed to the plastic materials, we have the negative charges, we have the positive charges transferred into the silk clothes. And another one is rod is having the positive charges, it's rubbed into that event and the silk cloths, it is moving into the negative charges, only two way. Now I can take from the silk of the cloths. First of all, having what's the charge? Positive charge. Next one of the silk having is a positive charge. We have to moving to close to each other. They have to repel to each other. There is no repel to each other, or there is no attract to each other. We can accept for the attract from each other. Why? The silk having the first one is of the rubbed clothes having negative charge, and another one is having the positive charges. Why means so the n number of the particles which means the positive charges is equal to the n number of the negative charges. That is there is no change. This will be happen from that. A simple apparatus to detect and the body is there. Next one is for the conduction. Conduction is you can take from the understanding of that any other leaf. We have taken from the leaf. Some substances are really of the passage of the electricity through them. Others are thus which are not electricity to pass through them easily. Is called for the conductors. They have the electric charges. This means electrons. Electric charges means electrons. That they comparatively free to move inside the material. Metals, human and animals of the bodies and earth are the conductors. Why? Most of the non-metals are like glass, proclation, plastic. What is this for that non-metals? Glass, proclaim, plastic, nylon, wood are high resistance to the passage through the electricity through them. They are called the insulators. Most substances fall one of these two classes we have started about. Okay. Whereas some charges is a transferred into conductor. Conductance means you can touch that. It really gets set for the distributed over the entire surface of the conductors. In contrast, if some other of the charges is put into the insulators, for example, what is it told them? It is for that some other rubber moment of that, some metal knob, a metal rod. Metal knob, this is for the metal rod, it's a metal rod. Rod is having the vertical position upstairs of the event. A small circle is known as the metal knob. It is a rubber. Rubber is also insulated. A metal rod is going to that. The gold leaves. This is for the fully covered with a glass window. What will be happen if any other rod we have the positive charges? The positive charges are passed. It is the one of the ball. It's in that is a some of the electric levels is a positive and positive repel to each other. So that's why we have to explain here. When the some charges is transferred to the conductor, it really gets the distributors over the entire surface of the conductor. In contrast, if some charge is put into the insulator, it stays at the same place. We will learn why this happens to that. The property of these materials tells you the nylon or the plastic comb gets electrified, so the means a dry hair and rubbing event only. But a metal is the spoons does not. Spoon does not having the electric charges. The charges are there leak through their body, through the ground, both of the conductors. So this is for the basic properties of the electric charges. What is the properties of the electric charges means? The size of the charged bodies are very small, means as compared to the distance between them. We really as the point of the charges. All the charges of this content of the body is assumed to be as a concentrate of the one point in the spaces. Additivity of the charges. We have given in the quantitative of the definitions. What is the for quantitative? Qualitative. So quantitative is it's a quantity of the factors. We shall is a tentatively assume that this has been the proceed of the charges Q1 to the Q2 of this up to of the any of the charges is added to the events. Charges have the magnitude but no directions. Similar to the mass. However, we have to the next chapters. அதாவது இப்போ இங்கே என்ன சொல்லுறாங்க அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா 600 பிசிலேயே நம்ம இதை கண்டுபிடிச்சோம். இது ஈவெண்ட்டில் க்ரீக் வேர்ட்ஸ்லேருந்து வந்தது அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. இப்போது ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் ஆகக்கூடிய சார்ஜஸ் ஃப்ரிக்ஷன்லேயும் இருக்கும், கண்டக்ஷனில் இருக்கும், இண்டக்ஷனில் இருக்கும், 3 வேல இருக்கும். ஃப்ரிக்ஷன்னா ரப்பிங் பண்ணாலே வந்துடும். கண்டக்ஷன் அப்படின்னா டச் பண்ணோம்னா அந்த கண்டக்ஷன் ஆகும். இண்டக்ஷன் மீன்ஸ் வித்தவுட் டச்சிங் ஆஃப் த ஃபேக்டர்ஸ். ஃபஸ்ட்டு வந்து 2 ராட் எடுத்துக்கிறோம். ஒரு ராடை ரப் பண்ணுறோம். எதுலனா சில்கில் வச்சு ரப் பண்ணும்போது அந்த ராடை வந்து பாசிட்டிவ் சார்ஜ் தான் இருக்குது. அது எப்பவுமே ராடு பாசிட்டிவ் சார்ஜாக இருக்கும். இந்த ராடு என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா அந்த நெகட்டிவ் சார்ஜஸ் வந்து சில்க்கு வந்து ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் ஆகிடும். ஸோ ஓகேவா. அடுத்தது நான் என்ன பண்ணுறேன்னா அது வந்து 2 ராடுமே நான் வந்து எடுத்துகிட்டு ரப் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கிறேன். இப்போ லைட் சார்ஜஸ் டு ரிப்பல் டு ஈச் அது 2 சார்ஜுமே ஒரு வேளை லைட் சார்ஜஸ் தான் ரிப்பல் ஆகும். நெக்ஸ்ட் என்ன பண்ணுறேன், பிளாஸ்டிக் மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் எடுத்துகிட்டு அங்கே இருக்கக்கூடிய சில்கில் பண்ணும்போது பிளாஸ்டிக்கோட மெட்டீரியல்ஸில் எனக்கு இப்போ நெகட்டிவ் சார்ஜஸ் தான் இருக்கும். இது என்ன ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் பண்ணால் பாசிட்டிவ் சார்ஜஸ் இருக்கும். இப்போ 2 சில்க் எடுத்து வச்சுருக்கோம் இல்லையா, இந்த 2 சில்க்கு ஈவெண்ட்டே நம்ம எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்தோம்னா ஒரு சில்கில் வந்து நமக்கு நெகட்டிவ் சார்ஜ் இருக்கும், இன்னொரு சில்கோடைய க்ளோத்ஸில் வந்து பாசிட்டிவ் சார்ஜஸ் இருக்கும். அப்போ 2மே வச்சு பக்கத்தில் வச்சோம்னா அட்ராக்ட் ஆகாது. ஏன் அப்படின்னா இதில் இருக்க நம்பர் ஆஃப் தி சார்ஜஸும் இதில் நம்பர் ஆஃப் தி சார்ஜஸும் ஒன்றா இருக்கிறனால அட்ராக்ட் ஆகாது அப்படிங்கிற விஷயத்த சொல்கிறாங்க. நெக்ஸ்ட் நம்ம பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா ஒரு கண்டக்டர்ஸ்க்கு என்ன பண்ணுறோம்னா ஒரு 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 பாக்ஸ் மாதிரி இருக்கா, அந்த பாக்ஸ்க்குள்ளே கிளாஸ் தான், அது உள்ள மேலே வந்து ஒரு பாப் மாதிரி இருக்குது. அந்த பாலில் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கோன்னா நம்ம ஒரு கண்டக்டர்ஸ் மாதிரிக்காக யூஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்காக ஒரு ராடோட அடியில் வந்து ஒரு கோல்டோடைய லீஃபை வச்சுருக்கோம். அந்த கோல்டு லீஃப் என்ன ஆகுது அப்படின்னா அதுவும் பாசிட்டிவ் சார்ஜில் தான் இருக்கும். மேலே நம்ம கண்டக்ட் பண்ணுறதும் பாசிட்டிவ் சார்ஜில் தான் இருக்கும். இடையில இன்சுலேட்டர்ஸ் இருக்கும், அது வந்து தக்க வச்சுட்ருக்கோம், அது வந்து ப்ராகிபிட் பண்ணும் இல்லையா. ஸோ இப்போ என்ன பண்ணுறேன்னா நம்ம ஒரு பாசிட்டிவ் சார்ஜஸ் அடித்தோம்னா ஒரு வேளை அந்த பாசிட்டிவ் ரிப்பல் டு ஈச் அதர்னா அப்படியே விரிஞ்சு கொடுக்கும் அந்த மெட்டல் கோல்டு லீஃபில் இருக்கிறது. ஒரு வேளை நெகட்டிவ் சார்ஜஸ் வந்துச்சுன்னா அது அந்த மேலே இருக்கிற நம்ம கொடுத்துருக்கோங்க இல்லையா கண்டக்ஷனு, அது நெகட்டிவ் சார்ஜஸ் இருந்துச்சுன்னு சொன்னால் இதில் உள்ள சார்ஜஸ் அட்ராக்ட் ஆகும்போது அந்த கோல்டு லீஃப் வந்து நல்லா ஸ்ட்ரிங் பண்ணி அப்படியே வரும்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஓகேவா, இதுதான் உள்ள கிளாஸ்.